Hello everyone, welcome to our video on NASA's Artemis II mission. This is a critical mission for NASA as it marks a significant step towards achieving their ultimate goal of landing humans on Mars. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the Artemis II mission, its objectives, and the various technologies and spacecraft involved. So, let's get started. Part 1, Overview of Artemis II mission. The Artemis II mission is the second mission in NASA's Artemis program, which aims to land humans on the Moon by 2024 and then use that knowledge to prepare for human missions to Mars. The Artemis II mission is an uncrewed test flight that will orbit the Moon, testing the spacecraft and systems before eventually carrying humans to the lunar surface. Artemis II is a planned crewed mission by NASA as a part of the Artemis program, which aims to send humans back to the Moon by 2024 and establish a sustainable presence there. Artemis II is also known as the Exploration Mission 2, M2. The mission is expected to launch in 2023, and it will be the first crewed mission to leave Earth's orbit since the Apollo program in the 1970s. The main goal of Artemis II is to test the spacecraft systems and to perform a flyby of the Moon. The spacecraft that will be used for Artemis II is the Orion spacecraft, which has been designed to carry humans beyond low Earth orbit. The spacecraft will be launched by the Space Launch System, SLS, a powerful rocket designed specifically for deep space missions. The crew for Artemis II will consist of 4 astronauts, who will spend approximately 10 days in space. The mission will be a test of the spacecraft systems, including the life support system, the communication systems, and the propulsion system. During the mission, the spacecraft will travel around the Moon and then return to Earth. This will be the first time that humans have traveled beyond low Earth orbit since the Apollo program. The Artemis II mission is an important step towards establishing a sustainable human presence on the Moon and paving the way for future missions to Mars and beyond. It will also provide valuable experience and knowledge that will be useful for future deep space missions. Part 2, The spacecraft involved. The spacecraft involved in the Artemis II mission includes the Orion spacecraft, Space Launch System, SLS, rocket, and the European Service Module, ESM. The Orion spacecraft is designed to carry humans to the Moon and beyond, while the SLS rocket is one of the most powerful rockets ever built, capable of carrying heavy payloads beyond low Earth orbit. The ESM provides power, propulsion, and life support systems to the Orion spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft consists of several components, including the crew module, the service module, and the launch abort system. Engineer. The crew module is where the astronauts will live and work during the mission. It's designed to be able to support a crew of up to 4 for about 21 days. The crew module is designed to be able to withstand the harsh conditions of deep space, including extreme temperatures, radiation, and micrometeoroids. Engineer. The service module is the powerhouse of the spacecraft. It provides propulsion, electrical power, and thermal control for the crew module. The service module is equipped with 4 main engines that can be used for propulsion and maneuvering. It also has solar arrays that generate electricity and radiators that dissipate heat. Engineer. The launch abort system is a safety feature that's designed to protect the crew in case of an emergency during launch. The launch abort system can quickly separate the crew module from the rest of the spacecraft and bring it safely back to Earth. Astronaut. Orion is an incredible spacecraft. It's built to keep us safe, keep us comfortable, and keep us alive. Before it's sent on a mission, the Orion spacecraft undergoes extensive testing to ensure that it's ready for the challenges of deep space. Engineer. The Artemis II mission is an important step towards establishing a sustainable human presence on the Moon and paving the way for future missions to Mars and beyond. The Orion spacecraft is a critical component of that effort. Fade out. Part 3, Objectives of Artemis II mission. The primary objective of the Artemis II mission is to test the Orion spacecraft and its systems in a lunar environment. This will include testing the spacecraft's heat shield, navigation and communication systems, and life support systems. Additionally, the Artemis II mission will gather data on the radiation environment around the Moon to help prepare for human missions to the lunar surface. Artemis II is the second mission of the Artemis program, which aims to send humans back to the Moon and eventually establish a sustainable human presence on the lunar surface. The objectives of the Artemis II mission are: 1. Test the Orion spacecraft. Artemis II will be the first crewed mission for the Orion spacecraft, which will carry 4 astronauts to the Moon and back. The mission will test the performance and safety of the spacecraft and its systems. 2. Lunar flyby. The Artemis II spacecraft will fly past the Moon, orbit it for a few days, and return to Earth. This will be the first human mission to venture beyond low Earth orbit since the Apollo missions. 3. Test communication and navigation systems. The mission will test new communication and navigation systems that will enable future lunar missions to communicate with Earth and navigate in deep space. 4. Gather scientific data. The crew will conduct scientific experiments during the flight to study the effects of deep space radiation on the human body, as well as test new technology and equipment for future missions. 5. Prepare for future lunar missions. The Artemis II mission will help NASA prepare for future lunar missions, including the Artemis III mission, which aims to land the first woman and the next man on the Moon by 2024. The data and experience gathered from Artemis II will help NASA refine its plans and ensure the safety of future crewed missions. Part 4. Timeline of Artemis II mission. The Artemis II mission is scheduled to launch in 2023, and it will take about 3 weeks to complete. After launch, the spacecraft will travel to the Moon, and then the engines will fire, slowing it down so that it can be captured by the Moon's gravity. The spacecraft will then orbit the Moon for several days, allowing NASA to test its systems in a lunar environment. After completing the objectives, the spacecraft will return to Earth, splashing down in the Pacific Ocean. The Artemis II mission, also known as Exploration Mission 2, M2, will be the second uncrewed flight of the Orion spacecraft and the first crewed mission of the Space Launch System, SLS, rocket. Here is a tentative timeline of the Artemis II mission. Launch, currently planned for 2023, the exact launch date for Artemis II has not been announced yet. However, it is expected to take place from Launch Complex 39B at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Crew, Artemis II will carry a crew of 4 astronauts, who will spend approximately 10 to 14 days in lunar orbit. The crew has not been announced yet, but NASA has stated that they will include the first woman to land on the Moon. Lunar orbit. After launching from Earth, the SLS rocket will propel the Orion spacecraft to lunar orbit, where it will spend approximately a week. During this time, the crew will conduct a variety of experiments and test out the spacecraft systems in preparation for future missions. Gateway. The Artemis II mission will also involve a visit to the Lunar Gateway, which is a small space station that will orbit the Moon and serve as a staging point for future missions. The spacecraft will not dock with the Gateway but will perform a flyby. Re-entry and splashdown. After completing its mission, the Orion spacecraft will depart from lunar orbit and begin its journey back to Earth. The crew will re-enter the Earth's atmosphere and splash down in the Pacific Ocean, where they will be recovered by the NASA and the U.S. Navy. It is important to note that the timeline for the Artemis II mission is subject to change, as the mission is still in the planning stages, and there may be delays or adjustments made based on testing and development of the SLS rocket and Orion spacecraft. Part 5. Significance of Artemis II mission. The Artemis II mission is a significant step towards NASA's goal of landing humans on the Moon and eventually Mars. It will provide crucial data on the spacecraft and systems required for human missions to the Moon and beyond. Additionally, the mission will demonstrate the capabilities of the SLS rocket, which will be used for future Artemis missions. Conclusion. So, there you have it, the Artemis II mission, a critical milestone in NASA's quest to explore the Moon and Mars. With its powerful spacecraft and technologies, NASA is pushing the boundaries of human exploration and taking us one step closer to becoming a multi-planetary species. We hope you found this video informative, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. The Artemis II mission has come to an end, and it marks an incredible milestone in the history of human space exploration. This mission, which was the first crewed flight of NASA's Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft, has brought us one step closer to our ultimate goal of landing the first woman and the next man on the Moon by 2024. During this mission, a crew of 4 astronauts spent approximately 10 to 14 days in lunar orbit, conducting experiments and testing the spacecraft's systems. They also visited the Lunar Gateway, a small space station that will serve as a staging point for future missions to the Moon. The success of the Artemis II mission is a testament to the hard work and dedication of the NASA team, as well as our partners in the aerospace industry. It is a reminder of what we can achieve when we come together to push the boundaries of human knowledge and exploration. As we look forward to future missions under the Artemis program, we can be inspired by the achievements of the Artemis II crew and the countless scientists, engineers, and technicians who made this mission possible. Together, we will continue to explore the mysteries of our universe and expand the horizons of human knowledge and discovery. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.